Hello everyone. Welcome to this video on prevention of sexual harassment at workplace, also known as PoSH. Now, in this video, we are going to be looking at what is PoSH and what are the compliances under PoSH. When considering the workforce, it is seen that more than 50% of women face sexual harassment. Now, before going any further, let us consider what is sexual harassment. Sexual harassment means any unwelcome sexual advances, whether it be physical, verbal, or transmitted through any electronic means, such as emails, messages, and so on. When considering the most recent statistics on sexual harassment, it is seen that in the formal sector that there has been an increase of 27% in the year 2022, whereas in the unorganized sector or the informal sector, 55% of sexual harassment complaints go unreported. And so, in order to deal with this, the PoSH policy looks to create a workplace not only free of sexual harassment, but also in the event of sexual harassment, what could be the possible steps taken? Now, before getting into that, let us look at the history of PoSH. It all started in the year 1997 with a case of Vishaka versus state of Rajasthan. It was in this case that the women's right to life and dignity in relation to the workforce was considered. It was stated that it is important to create a work environment where women are protected and free from sexual harassment. And so it was based on this case that the Vishaka guidelines came into force. And it was further based on those guidelines that in the year 2013, the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition, and Redressal Act came into force. Now, this legislation set up various compliances for workplaces, including setting up internal committees, conducting various workshops, in order to ensure that each workforce had various steps in place to deal with sexual harassment and also to educate everyone around on the importance of creating a healthy work environment. It has now been 10 years since this legislation has come into force, and it was seen in the year 2023 in the case of Aureliano Fernandez versus State of Goa and others that POSH needed to be implemented in a much stronger means, where the Supreme Court had actually found that there was a lack of confidence and awareness in relation to the internal committees, in which the Supreme Court had also directed that every workforce should have an internal committee to deal with the problems of sexual harassment. Now, why do we need the POSH policy? What is the aim? The main aim of POSH policy is to create a safe and healthy work environment, to create a place where both men and women can pursue their career goals without fear of sexual harassment. And not only that, to ensure that in the work environment, everyone treats one another with respect and dignity. And in the event of sexual harassment, such a person who has faced such harassment will be able to step forward and be able to speak up. These are just some of the goals of the POSH policy. And as we look forward, we are going to see what are the compliances in relation to POSH. One of the first things is implementing a POSH policy. Now, what is this POSH policy? It is simply a framework as the company's approach towards preventing, prohibiting, and implementing a redressal system in the event of sexual harassment within the workplace. Now, before looking at the prevention and prohibition aspects, let us consider the redressal mechanisms. It is seen that an internal complaints committee should be constituted in every organization with more than 10 employees. It is in this committee that is made up of more than 50% of women. They will deal with the problems of sexual harassment within a particular organization, for which the different rules to abide by is stated in the POSH policy, and the people within the committee are well aware of such laws. Now, other than this, there is also the local complaints committee, which is mainly for those who work in organizations having less than 10 employees, women working in unorganized sectors, and if anyone who wishes to complain against the employee himself or herself. The local complaints committee isn't only meant for these particular types of complaints, but for any complaints and anyone who wishes to seek redressal against sexual harassment in the workplace. Let's look at some of the ways to prevent and prohibit sexual harassment. One of the ways is through awareness training and workshops. Now, what will happen through these workshops? There will definitely be a better understanding and awareness that particular PoSH laws are in place. These are the particular policies and the particular implementations and steps taken by a company towards protection and prevention of sexual harassment, and also to ensure a healthy work environment where sexual harassment is not considered taboo but is talked about and victims have the right to step forward and speak. Now, when considering the annual report, it is seen that this report consists of different complaints filed, pending, and disposed of in the organization, as well as training and workshops conducted within this organization. The main aim of this report is to ensure each company is compliant with PoSH and also ensuring that sexual harassment is taken very seriously and every case is given its importance. Now, what would happen in the event of non-compliance? It is seen that very hefty fines can be levied against the particular organization, as well as continuous non-compliance can lead to cancellation of license. It is important for us to understand that PoSH does not only apply to certain cases of sexual harassment, but is approached with a broad scope of creating a healthy work environment for everyone and allowing everyone to pursue their own career goals. Thank you so much for joining us for this video. We hope this was a fruitful video for you. And if you have any questions, do let us know in the comment section or feel free to reach out to us. Thank you and have a nice day.